Best EQ man in the world.
You've taken a lot of accountability for some breakdowns in recent weeks. How much accountability you felt like you took in this game to make some plays when your team needed? Obviously, Bo's hobbled a little bit. Yeah. Offense has kind of had a different character than it's had the last few weeks.
Yeah, those big moments. I think I feel like I'm made for that in terms of got to step up, right? Regardless of last week I wasn't able to make the play, but as long as you own it, you got to own it, right? And that's, I think, what enabled me this week to be able to go out there and not have that fear, you know what I'm saying? Be like, all right, this is a big moment again, but I know, trust in my training and not necessarily put the team on my back because that's not what happened, but, go and make a big play, and there's big plays made all around the field. I just happened to get the ball thrown to me a couple of times, so that was nice.
Obviously, 86 is a great player. Just what was the task of trying to just rein him in as much as possible, and then just did that ultimately play into your hands at all? That you could maybe predict maybe where the ball was going?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that they were going to try to get the ball to him, especially in that fourth quarter. When it's on the line, fourth down, we know they're going to 86. He got me a couple times, today, but I had to get him back. He's a hell of a player. And we knew, that was the game plan. They want to get to him in those situations. So that second pick, that was a lot of film study. Knew exactly what he was going to run. Got to jump that route, and luckily the ball was thrown right there. Just thought about, don't drop it, catch that ball.
What was the last week just like for you personally, for this defense, and to come out and play like you did individually, like this defense did? That has to feel really gratifying.
This is definitely the most satisfying win for the defense, for sure, so far. We really stepped up to the plate. Offense didn't have the normal explosive day that they usually do, and they usually put us on their backs, right? So we kind of took pride in that. Especially after last week, we knew we couldn't, do that again. I know a lot of people counted us out today, with not a super healthy Bo Nix. But defense, I'm so proud of the guys for stepping up, especially after last week and us showing like last week, to being able to bounce back. That was really impressive.
Hey, Bennett, can you take us through that second pick? You pointed at one of your teammates after you made the play, so it seemed like you guys had gone over that in film study.
Yeah.
What made you see that play before?
He had, it was JJ Greenfield. He had told me literally right before the drive, he said, they're going to throw you one, just catch that. Just catch it. And so as soon as I caught it, I almost dropped it too. I don't know if you saw. And I, came back and pointed right at him. But that was something that we had gone over all week. Just too open to the field. Especially with 86 at number 2, we knew that was a hot route. They would love to run double slants. So I, keyed into that. And as soon as I saw him break, I jumped in. Luckily, the ball was thrown right there and had to make that play. So that felt good.
On the first one, did you see Justin lay out Kincaid? So on the first one?
Oh, yes. So the ball's up in the air, and I'm like, oh, he's going to catch. I was getting ready to knock it down out of his hands because I knew Kincaid was going to go. And all of a sudden, here comes, number 10, and there's no more Kincaid. And I'm like, okay, so I'm figure Flo took care of him for me. So then I had a free shot at the ball. So I got to give Flo some props for that, and Jordan Riley for tipping the ball up in the air. For sure.
Privilege to that. Like we talked about after the Colorado game, hey, do you talk to Demo because of what happened in 2019?
Yeah.
One, did you after last week? And two, this is a test of mettle that you could very easily go full-blown turtle after a game like that. I'm being real.
Yeah.
But you just had the game of your career. How?
That's to me, it started with taking accountability for last week, and understanding that it doesn't mean I'm a bad football player, right? It happens to everybody in the position I was in. It happens. There's stuff that I could clean up, and I watched those plays so many times. And as much as it hurt, it was like, what can I do better? What is there to improve? And I think with that mentality and just understanding that, okay, I own it and then put it behind me because it happened, right? And obviously it was very unfortunate, but it kind of allowed me to come out here tonight and play free and without a worry of, I don't want to get beat again. And it allowed me to play fast and jump some stuff and trust my reads and all that. So I think it really starts with just owning your mistakes and what you could have done better.
What's the feeling in that locker room, especially for the guys who went through 2 very big blowout losses to Utah last year, to come out here and do this tonight and get this win?
Yeah, obviously I wasn't able to play in those games last year. I was at one of them, and it just is not a good feeling, especially when a team kind of big brothers you twice like that. The guys in the locker room wanted this one bad, and you can tell by the way we came out and were physical. I think we took it to them, and that you're supposed to be the more physical team, all wanted to run the ball, all that stuff. But for 4 quarters, we came out and hit them in the mouth over and over and over, and it showed. And man, I'm so proud of the guys, because I know how much they wanted it, and for them to, it started to look like, things could go south towards the end, and guys stepped up and were making plays, left and right. So I'm proud of the guys.
What do you make of just the defensive line and the impact that they had in this one, deflecting balls, getting tackles for loss, just the impact they had on the game?
They won the game for us, I'll put it that way. Hands in the air, deflecting balls. I think we had 2 picks right off batted balls. Stopping the run, and that's what Utah prized themselves on, and that got them uncomfortable. You could tell their offense was uncomfortable all night because they couldn't run the ball like they wanted to. So credit to our D line, man. That is impressive for them to be able to do it. Brandon Dorless over there in the getting the other interview. Look, got to give him a shout out, because those guys balled out tonight. So that definitely helps us in the back end.
Do you have a trophy case for those?
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna order one. Yeah, 2 of them actually. Need to frame these, put them up in the room for sure.
Well, this is the last point now, man. Shipley comes in for DJ pre-snap. Just what are you seeing? What are you thinking? The ball comes your way again between you and BA.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of let him inside. I wasn't supposed to. I should have been all over that. Should have had 3 picks, really. That's how I look at it. But didn't even know Ship came on the field like that. I just was so zoned into what we had. 86 obviously motioned over, so I'm thinking that our side is hot. And they want to come to this side. I kind of saw that he scrambled or whatever. He seemed like he was under pressure. Actually made a pretty darn good throw, and luckily their receiver dropped it. Really, that could have been a play right there. Like, that's a play where I'm like, regardless of the result, right, it ended up in the way that we wanted to, but that's something that could have been a big play for them and could have really helped win them the game. So that's something that I need to fix up.
Just the emotions last week was really heavy from the whole team and yourself. How does it feel to come out on the other side of that this week? A really emotional game.
This one's big. This one feels really, really good, especially after the week I had last week, the week we had last week. But that's just kind of just trust in the team and trust in, the guy next to you, and understanding that, look, like, we put in a lot of work for this. It's not, it's easy to get really down on yourself after something like that, and down on this team, or like, things are going south. Especially when you got an opponent like Utah, coming up this, tonight. And so I thought it was just so proud. I'm just so proud of the guys.
You were one of the few guys there in 20 in that foggy, miserable setting that was for a football game for you guys, and obviously the outcome and the goal line and everything else.
Yeah.
How do you set the tone for this next week?
Oh, yeah. Obviously, we know this win tonight, was big and feels great. But tomorrow, like, we got to attack that lift, and that's what I'm going to emphasize. Like, look, now everything is really, it's right in front of us. This was a big hump that we had to get over, but this next team is also really good. Not a ton of guys still here from that team. I mean, good amount, right? So they understand what that feels like, and there's going to be a sour taste in their mouth as well as mine. So we have to come out, just like we did tonight, physical and set the tone. Hit him in the mouth first and keep going. So
after Jamal went out, he's in there playing the box. Did it get even harder to guard 86 after that?
It was. I definitely have a lot of trust in Maul. It's nice playing next to him. And knowing that he can, go down either way we spin it, we can both cover, right? Both cover him. But Steve and BA both came in and stepped up, and honestly did a phenomenal job. Man coverage all night. I still don't think that was PI on Steve on the go route on 86, but it is what it is. But obviously it was big. Him going down was big, but guys are ready to step up. And did a great job tonight.
When you were spending, I'm guessing, the better part of the week preparing Ty as best as you could.
Yeah.
What is it? How do you put a value on what your quarterback did tonight to play and put you guys in this position on the other side of the ball? But how do you?
I just was talking to him, right before I came out here, just telling him how proud I am of him, because this one is the biggest, I think, win for him. I know he puts up all types of yards, and they didn't have a great night tonight in terms of offense, but the kid was playing on one leg, right? But he came out and did that for us. It wasn't just for him to get stats or whatever it was. He came out and did that for the team, knowing that he would give us the best chance to win. And he grinded out that last 3rd and 1 that he went and ran it. I thought that was pretty impressive. Some big cojones on him for doing that. So proud of him, and that's just speaks to how connected this team is and how much we play for each other, really.